Antonia Margarita, who married a gentleman named F.P.F. Temple. They had 11 children, 8 that lived to adulthood. This is one of the children, one of the younger of the boys. This is his home. And his wife, Laura, they had 5 children, 4 that lived to adulthood. They lost one in infancy. Home initially, their vacation home, and then ultimately they built this grand home, finished in the 1920s. And it's also Adobe.
Whoa! Look, it's new.
Mission walk, all the different missions. You're walking over, these are all grapes.
You see the grapes? Look at the grapes. Look up.
Which one are we going to now?
This home right here next door.
That?
Mm-hmm. So cool.
Okay, this is a dedication to the home on Laura Temple. Unfortunately, Laura, who was Walter's wife, and the vision behind this home, and she passed away suddenly right after the ground was broke. So Walter wasn't going to continue, but his kids encouraged him to keep going forward with it. So it was dedicated at that time by Reverend John Cantwell, who was the Bishop of Los Angeles and San Diego.
Whoa.
Okay, this home is a Spanish colonial revival style. You can still find these kind of homes today and probably all sorts of places, but I know Eagle Rock has small ones, San Marino, Pasadena. And what makes it a Spanish colonial revival is it has tile roof, stained glass, you're going to see. It's got wrought iron and hand-painted tile.
Wow.
All those features you're going to see in this home. But it has some other unique features that are truly part of the temples. For example, the grapes. They grew grapes here. They had their connection in their family was to Spain and to the temple seal up there, and you're going to see in Mexico. So there's all sorts of little nuances throughout the house that are pretty clever. And carved wood. I neglected to say there's a lot of carved wood.
Wow.
So let's go inside.
Whoa.
It's really pretty. We have lots of activities for kids. So if you look at this carved wood, and even the iron works, this is all hand done, no machinery.
Wow.
And it's all still continue to be preserved. So you have the eagle from the Mexican flag, gargoyles, hand-painted tile. This is unfortunately not an original. This is the grandfather, the patriarch. This is William Workman that lived in the older home. And when they were doing the renovation in the 80s, somebody stole the painting.
Oh no.
So, but this is him as an older man. This was Walter Temple. And here are his 4 children: Thomas, Agnes, Edgar, and Walter. And this was Laura, the mother. Now, what got them into this home probably is Walter was a farmer over in the Montebello Hills, Whittier Narrows area. You know that area? Mm-hmm. Close to the 605 freeway. Then he had walnuts, apples, and whatnot. And he was trying to buy back a lot of the land that his father had lost with a deal by running a bank in the 1800s. And so this is 1913 or somewhere around there. And they owned some land in the Whittier, the Montebello Hills. And Thomas is out playing. He's 9 years old. He's out playing and he finds this sticky black stuff. What happened to be oil. And they were in the money.
Oh, yeah.
Chevron oil, at the time, they were pumping oil. So I forget how many barrels a day. But their life turned completely around.
Oh, yeah.
They built a home in Alhambra. It still exists today, I'm told. It's part of a church rectory. And that was their main home. And then Walter immediately bought back the Workman property. And that property was summer property. You know, they they'd vacation here and whatnot.
Wow.
They would come on the weekends.
I would too.
Yeah.
This is nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And then they decided at some point to build a home to honor their family, and this is that home. By the time this home is built, the wife, Laura, she's not alive. So it's pretty much Walter living here. His kids are all away at school. Mm-hmm. Even the two younger boys are going to, it's called Dummer Academy in Massachusetts, a boys' school. So cool. Walter Dummer, believe it or not, I gave a tour to a neighbor they were here. And when I said Walter Dummer, they go, hey, we live next door.
Oh, nice.
I thought, what a small world. Mm-hmm. But Agnes she was up at Dominican College in San Rafael up in Northern California, above San Francisco. So she could come home more frequently. There was a lady here named Mrs. Bassity that helped run the house. Not only did she work here, but her father worked here and her brother worked here. But Mrs. Bassity was more or less the housekeeper. And Walter liked to do a lot of entertainment. He would entertain you with St. Joseph's Catholic Church here in La Puente. There was different activities, charitable things going on here. So guests would come in first to the living room.
Wow. Carlos.
So here's the family. They're all barefoot, living off the land. Here they are, all cleaned up after they're into the money. They're all in their special outfits. It looks like a uniform.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is a portrait of them here. So they were this ages, and they left kind of a spot symbolic where their mother probably would have
been there.
There's some interesting features in this room. If you look at the beams, there's all these different faces, but I think our understanding is that was just the architect's, some kind of idea.
To give it more character to the house.
Yeah. Now, these, the two windows, the stained glass windows, that is Thomas and Agnes playing like in the Rancho period, the Rancho days of their grandfather. They would entertain, have parties that were like a costume, because that was how they dressed back when this land was first settled by the Workmans and the Temples and the Rowlands.
That's so pretty.
And here's the dining room we'll go into next. Furniture about dated to the 1920s. See the doors with the carved wood, and even the hinges have nuns.
Each one was hand carved?
Hmm?
Each one of them were hand carved?
Yes.
Wow. Everything.
So much detail. Look at that, like children in some of them.
Children's, dragons.
It's just all over.
Everything.
Yeah, it's interesting to don't fully understand.
With the symbolic behind it.
Yeah.
The symbolism.
Yeah, there must be something that we just don't know, or I don't know.
The English and the original chairs, right?
Yeah, I don't know that
ones?
it was from a particular family member, but it's definitely a 1920s table.
Mm-hmm.
I have a table that looks very similar. That is from the 1920s. Okay, then this would be more for formal or family gatherings, but let's see. You have a dress on? You'd be the only one that get to dine in here probably at that time period. The men would have to have a jacket. Women would be.
Excuse me, ladies.
So you can see there's hand painted flowers, and then you can walk through here. I'll just stay in here.
There you go. Jeez.
That's the kitchen.
Oh yeah, this is nice. During the 40s?
Yeah,
Or-
this to me looks like it could be the 40s. Or
No,
the 50s.
The
maybe
50s.
even.
Like going right into that era.
Kitchen had that. You know, my home was like 1955.
Oh yeah.
So I don't honestly know if this is original wood or not. Maybe they just didn't change the way they built cabinets.
Right.
Could have stayed in place, I guess, for a number of years. And then this is an actual refrigerator, not an icebox. And when you think, if you can imagine, in that time period, we are really, it takes a while to get to Los Angeles. We got City of Covina and Whittier and even La Puente and so forth. But it's probably, it's starting to get pretty crowded. But this is still relatively far to have brought out where they have central heating and no central air, unfortunately. But I think that's pretty good in
Oh, it does.
here right now. But there's not everybody in the 20s would have had a refrigerator. Maybe an ice box, but that's electricity. That big old monstrosity up there.
General Electric. Nice.
So they have this other refrigeration in here. This would have been like maybe putting a side of beef in it or something.
There you go. Oh wow. The copper piping, all that, huh?
These are pictures of different people that I mentioned. Mrs. Bassity, this is her with her father. This was Walter Temple. That was a friend. This is Thomas, who had discovered the oil. And this is Agnes, and this was her future husband. I'm not sure who he was. Oh, maybe that's the father. Joe Romano is that. Yeah, that's the Mrs. Bassity's father. And the dog's name's Prince. There used to be, between here and the cemetery, the walkway that went toward the mausoleum, there was a reservoir, because water was so precious in that time. You had to manage your water. You figure he was growing, he had orchards of different fruits and vegetables and wheat and hay and wine grapes. So he had a lot that had to be irrigated. But that was also for fun. Seeing photos where they played.
They look very happy. They look very happy in those photos.
Yeah, I think I've heard they were a very happy family until it wasn't a happy time.
Yeah.
We're going to go outside. Now that fountain has been here since the 20s.
The
For
second
the
one.
last tour.
Huh.
See the little bird beak?
That is so cool.
Okay, so fountain. And if you look, it used to be a wraparound sun deck. But behind us is El Encanto Sanitarium. Now it's like a skilled nursing facility. They had built these rooms up here for hospital beds when this was the hospital. This was a hospital. They purchased it in the 1940s. And one thing they also did is they memorialized their animals because they're carved into the house. So this is Prince, and they had a cat, and there's another dog over there, and there's another dog back here.
That's a good way to remember your pets.
Yeah, I thought that was clever. Prince must have been very important. Look how much further he sticks out than
Then all the other
the
ones.
other posts.
The cat. You see it? Look at the kitty and the doggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watch your heads here.
Thank you. Oh, what? See.
So to get to those rooms, here's this tight stairway,
Excuse me.
or you had to go through the upstairs bedroom windows.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that how they, no, there's no elevator. You know, it would be nice, but. Okay, we do offer behind the scenes tours that are kind of clever about 4 times a year. So this is a entrance to the basement. And I know you saw in the one picture the vault from in the photo of the bank, and that's down here.
Oh.
Also all the holiday decorations.
Nice.
It's a good story.
Those are the best spots.
Okay, go ahead and go back in. Okay, so this next room is, so after having a meal, if you had company, you'd retire to this room and relax. And then for the family, they were avid readers. Their mother, Laura, was quite a teacher. She was a music teacher and taught school.
Oh, there's solid doors.
Yes,
No way.
sure.
Even the pins. It's a little library. Look at the library area.
Getting to the end for the family. They were struggling to even pay the bill for these built-in cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
They were about $1,850 a piece in the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
So if you can imagine what they cost today, they're built in and it's all hand carved. Very, very artistic looking. So
That's
a lot of
beautiful.
detail. This is famous authors, and then this is a scene on the west side here of Don Quixote, the book Don Quixote. Different displays are rotated around. So obviously, look at that old film projector.
See after.
That's pretty clever.
The bear?
I sincerely hope this wasn't their furniture, though. It's so stiff and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. I know that's a polar bear.
Okay, so this next room is a music room. Notice the curvature of the ceiling. They help with the acoustics. These are famous composers.
Yeah, you could definitely feel like the
you feel it
extra
all
space.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
get a little bit more volume. We actually just had an event here that was nice. We have a regular pianist that comes and works with the museum. Beautiful, beautiful music. So we just opened the doors because they had that whole back area lawn covered with tables and food and a bar and all that. And then he played. And when he did Rhapsody with Queen.
Oh, he did that? He was playing it?
Oh, he plays it fabulous.
Nice.
They just brought everybody out there singing.
Oh, yeah. Out of nowhere. It's like, oh, okay.
And we were in here because we opened the homes for them to just walk through.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, I couldn't think of the name. But, yeah, he's very talented, so we're lucky to get him for different events.
Wow. Jeez.
This one?
I believe this. Just wait right
They
here.
owned that first door.
The first door.
Walter never lived in it because he was widowed. He didn't feel he was the master. That was probably planned to be Laura's dressing room. Obviously, prime owners after the temples, they would have furnished it, but we want to be true to the time period. What I wanted to point out in these windows, the stained glass, there's scenes of traveling. They did not travel here like Walter Temple. It's a donkey cart, so no covered wagons would have fit. They walked here, let's put it that way. They walked from Taos, New Mexico to here. So
It's a long
they
journey.
walked through that desert,
Mm-hmm.
over by Big Bear, over those mountains, and then over here.
They all survived.
Yes. And it was I forget the party, how many, 30 or 40 people, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got England represented there, Massachusetts. On the window directly behind you here, oil wells and a refinery. The California, I mean, that's how they got money, so I guess that makes sense. Okay, these are the kids. Thomas Temple, who was 9 years old when the oil was discovered. He went to Harvard to get a law degree, but he ended up working as the genealogist for the San Gabriel Mission.
Nice.
So he's buried at the San Gabriel Mission. And Agnes, she ended up getting a degree in music at Dominican. She was quite a pianist. And she married a man named Louis Fatjo, F-A-T-J-O. And I believe they're the Gilroy garlic. They had wealth from that. Her descendants are all in the San Francisco area. She died fairly young. And I don't think I think she died in her early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And here they are in the reservoir with the younger brothers. These two brothers got the brunt of losing the money. They were away at Walter Dummer Academy. They graduated. They were in the same grade. That's how close in age those two kids came.
Wow.
And they ended up going to Chaffey College, I think, or Chapman here, and worked in the aerospace industry.
Oh, wow.
They didn't get quite the extra privileges. You see religious symbols on the windows.
Well, even the mirrors too, silver mirrors.
Hmm?
They have the silver in there.
Yeah.
Those ones.
But, I mean, this has got a bathtub and a shower. I could live on this house.
Yes, as long as it has that and a toilet.
But
We're good.
look at the doorways. Look how low the doorknobs are. We have no theories. Maybe when it was a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no appearance of damage from, like they've been raised or lowered. Here now you can see the sun depth. You okay? We're almost done. We're going to go outside. We've got 2 more rooms, or 3 more rooms here. Now we're going to inside the older kids. And the boys played instruments. They were in the band in the school. So they all were musically trained. And their mother was a music teacher. This is Thomas's room, the oldest son. This was his furniture. He has a special Madonna in the
They're hungry.
Yeah. She's been good this whole time.
Yeah, you're doing really good.
And baby boy's like, hey.
You're almost finished. You can go ahead and go into. Now, Agnes had the largest room. She was only a train ride away. She could bring friends, and she did. Sometimes we displayed her wedding dress. She got married on Thanksgiving 1929. This is the other side. They're actually office space now. So there's, I don't know if anybody will be working today, but
Oh, wow.
Look at the old record player.
Right out the windows, what were you saying? On the other side?
Yes.
Right here?
On the other side of these windows are the staff working.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, I don't know if they're working at the moment, but that's
Oh, how close.
that's where they preserve records. They do
okay.
preservation work and all sorts of things.
Oh, restoration of the paperwork and all that. Oh,
Yeah,
my
restoration of photos, textiles. So, like a gown.
goodness. Yes.
Maybe they got that gown from 1920s, but it was damaged. They are trained, their staff trained on how to mend it and
That's
repair
awesome.
it. That opening over on Laura's and Walter's, the master bedroom, it was probably going to look something like this. This is actually Agnes. It's a little fuzzy, but it's a nice picture.
Big old smile.
Definitely the car and everything, 1920s.
Oh yeah, especially with the oil. That was the next gold rush right there.
Yeah. She had a nice exit out. Yeah, we can't go out that door though.
Come over here,
We're going to
Bubbles.
go back downstairs.
Wow.
Let's get back down. It's a little warmer up here. They are from the time, but I don't think any of them are actually were theirs.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I would have been trained to find out.
What's that?
That's
Hey,
an
be careful
unknown
going
baby.
down. I don't want to fill out a report.
Yeah, none in the baby. Hold on, Carlos. Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Hang on.
Hold on,
Good
hold
job.
on.
There you go.
Hold on. I don't want you falling.
There you go. No.
You know what I do? I use these.
Mm-hmm. Those are cool.
Ever seen like the Southern California Edison building? He built that. There's a lot of buildings downtown Los Angeles that have the mark of Walter Temple that are still here. But basically he leased the property out to be a military boys' school, but families truly couldn't send their kids to boys' school. Everybody was struggling.
Yeah.
And eventually he lost it to the bank. And it had a few other owners. The Brown family who used it as a hospital. And then it was sold to one City of Industry. They had this gym in their midst, but it's in poor condition. And they totally restored it, and we've been open for the tours since 1981. We only charge if there's some special event. There's lots of special events, so look at the website.
Look at the old telephones.
To the right.
Thank you. So cool.
These are different
I know.
different facilities. There was a bathroom. I don't think it works right now.
Restroom and then
These are guest quarters.
wow.
Actually, if you want to see this one, I think we have time. This is a barber shop.
Ooh, do I need a facial cut? Yeah, should I get my hair trimmed?
He would have a barber come from Los Angeles Friday nights, and he and his buddies, the people here, would get a
The cigars.
It is literally just the one room.
May I walk in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
This is the barber shop.
Look at that. Ooh, so you can sit in the chair?
We're making it on time. So.
And then, oh, nice. They'll lean you back and then go.
It's just a vaulted room. I mean, there's no other doors.
Must have been a lot of laughters here. The guys hanging out, just having a good old time.
This is some indulgence, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta have it. You know.
But yes, like abalone shells.
Look at there's shells on the
I
ground.
didn't point it out at the front, but there's china plates that were broken pieces of china.
Nice.
And that was a popular thing to do if you were
Bless you.
wealthy,
Bless you.
I guess, in the
Oh yeah.
time period.
Break it, throw it on the floor, and paste it.
For all their dry farming, to do their bales of hay and whatnot. And these were the wheels. However, we've learned in recent years that was actually donated from the Rollins. It's
Oh,
not a
nice.
Workman one,
It's still part of the time.
but it's here.
And that's still the buddy's still looking out for the other buddy.
Yeah.
That's pretty
they
cool.
Were very close.
Mm-hmm.
They were their whole lives. And maybe that played on him taking his life. Who knows? He
Yeah.
lost his
Everything.
good friend.
Oh man.
We just walked around this. Look at this funny building.
Wow.
This is also a building. And it was nice to look at the people that have the And this is his office. This was where Walter Temple worked. He has plans. He created the town of Temple, Temple City.
Oh, nice.
And now we don't usually open it except for behind the scenes tours.
Nice.
But it's got a fire, like a fireplace, a bed, and a bathroom.
Nice.
And his typewriter's in there. Okay, so we're back on the mission book where it's listing all the different missions.
Buenaventura. Where are the other ones?
The one in Arizona.
San Capistrano. Oh,
isn't that
yeah.
beautiful?
Oh, it's gnarly. Then the Los Angeles one.
Yeah.
Down in the 1700s. It has like a wine cellar, library, all that's totally neat.
It's very nice to see those.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been to almost all of them. And one of my favorites is San Antonio, and that one's very active. But so is that other one down in San Diego. San Luis Rey, I think.
San Luis Rey?
That's pretty active.
That
I mean,
one?
it's still being... Whereas when you go to a lot of them in Central California near Salinas and all that, let's go back to this through here.
All right, kiddos.
You basically see the stones that are the foundation.
Yeah.
They were not. When Mexico gained freedom from Spain, they tried to secularize all the missions to get rid of them.
Oh, man.
And that's why they're really selling all this land, because this was San Gabriel Mission's
Property at
cattle
the time.
property. This is a working water pump.
No.
And it would pull the water up here in this water tower. Now we're going to exit through it as it's a gift shop.
Nice. Times change.
Okay.
Very cool. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, no water towers there.
Little goodies here. Are they gonna... No, it's 5. They closed the whole place at 5. You'd have to